Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 5, TBIB class, and we will explain about structure and right expression from skill 33 until 60. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from 5th group, TBIB class, and we will explain about structure and written expression from skill 33 until 60. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from 5th group, TBIB class, and we will explain about structure and written expression from skill 33 until 60. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from 5th group TBIB class and we will explain about structure and written expression from skill 33 until 60. And member of the 5th group is first Kurnia Fitri Azizatul Fajriya as the first presenter from skill 33 until 39. Second, Jamila as the second presenter from skill 40 until 47. Third, Mila Andiani as the third presenter from skill 48 until 54. Fourth, Ahmad Fuadi as the fourth presenter from skill 55 until 60. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kurnia Fitri Azizatul Fajriya. I will explain from skill 33 until 39. Skill 33. Know when to use the past with the present. One verb tense problem that is common both in student writing and on TOEFL test is the switch from the past tense to the present tense for no particular reason. Even when a sentence has both a past tense and a present tense, the sentence is incorrect. Jadi ketika di dalam sebuah kalimat itu terdapat dua verb, itu membuat kalimatnya menjadi tidak bermakna, tidak mempunyai makna, menjadi kalimat yang tidak jelas. Tetapi memang ada beberapa kalimat yang mempunyai dua verb itu dikarenakan memang makna kalimatnya tuh tepat gitu, sesuai. Nah, untuk mengetahuinya di sini ada beberapa tahapan, ada beberapa patokan ya. Yang pertama, if you see a sentence with one verb in the past and one verb in the present, the sentence is probably incorrect. Seperti yang sudah saya jelaskan tadi, jika ada satu kalimat yang mempunyai dua verb, yaitu past tense dan present, maka kalimat itu adalah kalimat yang salah. 2. However, it is possible for a correct sentence to have both past and present together. Dan iya, karena ada beberapa kalimat yang mempunyai dua verb, dikarenakan memang kalimatnya seperti itu, cocok gitu, maknanya ada dan bisa dimengerti kalimatnya. Yang ketiga, if you see the past and present together, you must check the meaning to determine whether or not the sentence is correct. Jadi ketika di dalam satu kalimat itu terdapat dua verb, kita itu harus mengecek atau memahami artinya dulu untuk bisa menghilangkan salah satu verbnya. This is the example from skill 33. I take from exercise skill 33, number 5. The sentence is, Steve wakes up early every morning because he went to work early. Di sini wake up early dan juga every morning. Wake up early di sini menunjukkan bahwa kalimat ini adalah kalimat present. Dan juga every morning ini kan menunjukkan suatu kebiasaan bahwa hal ini dilakukan setiap hari gitu ya. Tapi di sini ada because he went to work early. Sedangkan when ini menggunakan verb 2 yang menandakan bahwa dia past tense. Jadi makna dari kalimat ini itu tidak ada, tidak jelas. Sehingga menyebabkan kalimat ini menjadi kalimat yang incorrect. Kalimat yang benar adalah Steve wake up early every morning because he goes to work early. Number 7, another example. He is telling the teacher why he did not have time to finish his homework. He is telling di sini menunjukkan bahwa ini present, menunjukkan bahwa dia tuh menceritakan ini gitu. Why he did not have di sini kan sebenarnya past tense. Tetapi di sini kalimat ini mempunyai maknanya gitu. Jadi dia ini menceritakan kepada gurunya mengapa dia itu tidak mengerjakan PR. Dia sekarang ini bercerita kepada gurunya mengapa dia tidak mengerjakan PR. Dia tidak mengerjakan PR-nya kan sudah berlalu. Nah, hal itu diceritakan kepada gurunya saat ini gitu. Jadi kalimat ini kalimat yang bisa dipahami sehingga kalimat ini adalah kalimat yang correct. Skill 34. Use have and had correctly. Di sini kita sudah mengetahui bahwa have plus past participle adalah tenses untuk present perfect. Dan had plus past participle adalah tenses untuk past perfect. These two tenses have completely different uses and you should understand how to differentiate them. Di sini ada pedoman. Sebelum itu, saya ingin mengulas sedikit tentang past perfect. Past perfect refers to a period of time that started in the past and ended in the past before something else happened in the past. Di sini ada pedoman untuk mempermudah mengerjakan skill 34. Have plus past participle yaitu milik present perfect tidak bisa digunakan dengan past tense. Had plus past participle yakni milik past perfect tidak bisa digunakan dengan present tense. Hal ini perlu kita ingat. Example for exercise skill 44. Number 3. The students have registered for classes before the semester started. The student have registered di sini present perfect. Dan started di sini adalah past tense. Seperti kita ketahui, arti dari kalimat ini adalah anak-anak itu sudah registrasi sebelum semester dimulai. Nah, berarti di sini ada dua kejadian. Yang pertama itu murid-murid yang sudah mendaftar, kemudian semesternya dimulai. Berarti ini menunjukkan adanya past perfect, sehingga have registered di sini dirubah menjadi had registered. Skill 35. Use the correct tense with time expression. Often in sentence in the written expression section of the TOEFL test, there is a time expression that clearly indicates what verb tense is needed in the sentence. Jadi kata kunci di sini adalah time expression yang dapat mempengaruhi penggunaan kata kerjanya atau verb tense. Contohnya, we moved to New York in 1980. Kita pindah ke New York pada tahun 1980. In 1000 ini menunjukkan adanya masa lampau. Sudah terjadi. Maka verb tense-nya yakni simple past. Untuk yang kedua, we had left there by 1980. We had di sini menunjukkan bahwa kalimat ini adalah past perfect. Tapi ada juga yang lain yang menunjukkan mengapa ini menjadi past perfect, yakni kata by 1000. Berarti ini kan menjadi titik bahwa hal ini tuh terjadi pada masa lampau sebelum kejadian yang lain itu terjadi. Seperti yang sudah saya sebutkan tadi bahwa past perfect itu that started in the past and ended in the past before something else happened in the past. Untuk yang ketiga, we have lived in San Francisco since 1982. Kejadian ini berada antara masa sekarang, now, dengan masa lampau. Sehingga jadi kejadian ini tuh berada dari titik 1980 sampai terjadi sekarang gitu. Sehingga kalimat ini merupakan kalimat present perfect. Untuk mempermudah kita, ini ada using correct tense with time expression. Jadi biasanya past perfect itu didahului dengan kata by yang ditambah dengan simple past. Jadi seperti by 1000 bla bla bla, by tahun berapa, atau by 2 minggu yang lalu, by 2 weeks ago, atau apa yang seperti itu. Dan simple past ini menunjukkan seperti waktu yang pasti, 2 years, last years, in, seperti itu. Lalu present perfect biasanya didahului dengan since, tahun berapa, atau since bulan atau apa, dan lately. Nah, time expression inilah yang dapat membantu kita untuk menentukan tenses verb tense yang mana yang bisa kita gunakan. Example for skill 35. Number 3. The pilgrims have arrived in the New World in 1612. Mari kita lihat. In 1612 ini menunjukkan time expression. Dan ini menunjukkan simple past, bahwa kejadian ini sudah lampau. Jadi tapi kata kerja di sini, kata kerjanya have arrived, di mana have ini milik present perfect. Sehingga kita harus merubah kalimat ini menjadi simple past. Dan kalimat ini incorrect. The correct sentence is the pilgrims arrived in the New World in 1612. Number 4. Since the new law was passed, it has been difficult to estimate taxes. Di sini ada keterangan waktunya since, dan juga has been-nya present perfect, since-nya juga present perfect. Di sini kata the new law was passed ini menunjukkan titik di masa lampau itu. Dan juga kenapa di sini has been bukan have? Karena subjeknya adalah it. Sehingga kalimat ini adalah kalimat present perfect dan kalimat ini correct. Skill 36. Use the correct tense with will and would. One is the combination of the simple present and will. Another combination that is quite common is the combination of the simple past and would. The common error that must generally be avoided are the combination of the past with will and the combination of the present with would. Ya, seperti yang kita ketahui, biasanya simple present itu menggunakan will dan simple past itu menggunakan would. Would adalah bentuk kedua dari will. Nah, ini ada pedoman yang bisa kita pergunakan, yaitu will tidak boleh digunakan dengan past. Would tidak boleh digunakan dengan present. Example for skill 36. Number 3. Paul did not say when he will finish the project. Paul di sini kita lihat Paul did di sini menunjukkan simple past, sedangkan kalimat ini menggunakan kata will. Seperti yang sudah saya katakan tadi, bahwa will tidak boleh digabung dengan simple past, sehingga kalimat ini incorrect. Dan kalimat yang benar adalah Paula did not say when he would finish the project. Jadi will ini diganti menjadi would sebagai bentuk kedua dari will. Number 5. I know that I will go if I can afford it. I know. Berarti ini menunjukkan simple past. Dan juga ini sudah menggunakan kata will. Jadi kalimat ini correct. Skill 37. Use the correct form of the passive. One way that the passive can be tested on the TOEFL test is simply with an incorrect form of the passive. The following chart outline that passive biasa menggunakan be plus past participle. Nah, verb be di sini biasanya kan digunakan untuk present participle ataupun past participle. Present participle di sini digunakan untuk kalimat aktif, sedangkan past participle digunakan untuk kalimat pasif. Be di sini berupa be, been, am, is, are, was, were. Example for skill 37. Number 3. Money is lending by the credit union to those who want to buy homes. Is lending di sini menunjukkan bahwa kalimat ini adalah present participle. Sedangkan untuk kalimat pasif itu menggunakan past participle. Sehingga lending di sini dirubah menjadi lend. Jadi kalimat yang benar adalah money is lent by the credit union to those who want to buy homes. Karena pada kalimat ini kan uang dipinjamkan oleh, bukan uang meminjam. Number 4. The record had been chosen by dancer near the jukebox. The record had been chosen. Been di sini menjadi be, choose di sini menunjukkan bahwa ini simple past. Sedangkan pada kalimat pasif rumusnya adalah be plus past participle, yaitu verb 3, bukan menggunakan verb 2. Jadi kalimat ini incorrect, dan kalimat yang benar adalah the record had been chosen by dancer near the jukebox. Jadi choose di sini dirubah menjadi chosen. Skill 38. Recognize active and passive meaning. When word is an object, with or without by, after a verb, you must look at the meaning of the sentence to determine if the verb should be active or passive. Seperti kebiasaan kita melihat bahwa kalimat itu adalah kalimat pasif. Biasanya kita melihat kata by. Nah, sedangkan ketika kata by ini tidak ada, kita harus mengetahui arti dari kalimat ini untuk bisa mengetahui apakah kalimat ini adalah kalimat aktif atau kalimat pasif. Sentence with an incorrect passive verb and no by plus object to tell you that the verb should be passive are the most difficult passive error to recognize on the TOEFL test. Dan ini adalah patokannya atau pedomannya bahwa aktif. Kalimat aktif adalah orangnya yang melakukan kegiatan, orangnya yang melakukan pekerjaan. The subject does the action of the verb. Sedangkan pasif adalah orang yang menerima sebuah tindakannya. The subject receives the action of the verb. Sebuah tindakan dari kata kerjanya. Exercise skill 38. Number 7. The coffee turned bitter when it left on the stove for so long. Kita lihat arti dari kalimat ini adalah kopinya berubah menjadi pahit ketika ditinggalkan. Harusnya kan seperti itu makna dari kalimat ini. Ketika ditinggalkan, bukan ketika meninggalkan. Nah, jadi harusnya kalimat ini berubah menjadi kalimat pasif. Maka kalimatnya menjadi the coffee turned bitter when it was left on the stove for so long. Kenapa setelah it ini menjadi kenapa menjadi was left? Karena ini ada turned verb 2-nya dari lampau. Jadi kalimat ini kita jadikan kalimat lampau. Jadi menjadi was left, bukan is left. Jadi kalimat yang benar adalah the coffee turned bitter when it was left on the stove for so long. Skill 39. Use the correct singular or plural. A problem that is common in the written expression section of the TOEFL test is a singular noun used where a plural noun is needed, or a plural noun used where a singular noun is needed. Seperti yang kita ketahui bahwa pada kalimat bahasa Inggris itu memiliki kata kerja, dan kata kerja di sini itu bisa berupa tunggal atau jamak. Nah, di sini ada beberapa keyword untuk menentukan apakah noun ini termasuk singular atau plural. First, singular noun, each, every, single, one, a. For plural noun, both, two, many, several, and various. Example, exercise skill 39, number 4. The woman found it difficult to believe that both of the piece of jewelry had disappeared. Di sini kita memiliki kata kunci both, yaitu untuk plural. Tetapi noun di sini hanya menggunakan piece, singular. Harusnya noun di sini menggunakan pieces ditambahi s sebagai bentuk plural. Jadi the correct sentence is the woman found it difficult to believe that both of the pieces of jewelry had disappeared. That is my explanation from skill 33 until 39. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. My name is Jamila. You can call me Mila. And now I wanna explain for about skill 40 until 47. Okay, continue to the skill 40. Distinguish countable and uncountable nouns. Kata benda itu dibagi menjadi dua, yaitu countable and uncountable. Countable di sini noun can come in quantities of ones or two or 100 and etc. Or bisa dikatakan countable noun adalah kata yang bisa dihitung. For example, book, pen, and others. And the next is uncountable noun. Uncountable noun, on the other hand, are nouns that cannot be counted because they come in some indeterminate quantity or mass. Or uncountable noun bisa dikatakan adalah kata benda yang tidak dapat dihitung. For the example is water, milk, and others. So the example is he has seen much foreign films. Films di sini dikatakan countable noun karena dapat dihitung. Berarti countable noun, jika films countable noun, maka di sini tidak memakai much akan tetapi many. He has seen many foreign film. And another example is he didn't have money fun at the movie. Money fun at the movie. Fun di sini uncountable noun. And sedangkan mini di sini countable noun. Jadi yang benar adalah he didn't have much fun at the movie. Countable noun, there is many, number, few, fewer, and others. And uncountable noun, there are much, amounts, little, and less. Okay, continue to skill 41. Recounts irregular plural of nouns. Many nouns in English have irregular form, and this irregular form can cause confusion that awaited explanation session of the test TOEFL. The irregular form that are the most problematic are plural form that do not end in s, or regular menambah s dan is di belakang if irregular tidak beraturan. For the example is parenthesis is neat around the explanation. Parenthesis di sini menggunakan menambah e dan s di belakang, sedangkan singularnya adalah parenthesis di belakang i dan s. If parenthesis plural, maka is di sini salah. Yang benar menggunakan to be are. Plural. Parenthesis are neat around the explanation. Okay, continue to the skill 42. Distinguish the person from the thing. Noun in English can refer to person or thing. Kadang di bagian tertulis tes TOEFL, orang digunakan sebagai benda atau benda digunakan sebagai orang. For the example is, in the evening, relax in front of the fire and return long put. Put di sini is per person, dan seharusnya di sini thing bukan person. Berarti in the evening, relax in front of the fire and return long poems. P-O-E-M-S. Thing. And the next is skill 43. Distinguish subject and object pronouns. Subject there are I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Object there are me, you, him, her, it, us, them. A subject pronoun is used as the object of verb. An object of pronoun can be used as the object of verb or the object of preposition. For the example is, they saw Steph and I at the move last night after class. They di sini sebagai subjek, and Steph and I di sini sebagai objek. Seharusnya kalau objek di sini memakai me bukan I, berarti they saw stuff and me at the movies last night after class. Okay, now continue to the skill 44. Distinguish possessive adjective and pronouns. Possessive adjective, there are my, yours, his, her, its, ours, theirs, and possessive pronouns, there are mine, yours, his, hers, ours, and theirs. And a possessive adjective describe a noun. It must take the place of noun in cannot be accompanied by noun. For the example is, if she borrow your clothes, then you should be able to borrow hers. Yours, your calls di sini possessive adjective, and di belakang be able to borrow hers. Hers di sini possessive adjective. Seharusnya jika possessive adjective diikuti oleh kata benda, tapi di sini tidak diikuti kata benda, berarti harus ditambah s di belakang menjadi hers. If she borrow your clothes, then you should be able to borrow hers. Berarti hers di sini merujuk pada clothes. Oke, continue to the skill 47. Check pronoun reverse from arrangement. After you have checked that the subject and object pronoun and the possessive are used correctly, you should also check each of the pronoun and preposition for arrangement. The following are examples of error of this type that you may find on the TestOval. For the example is, if a person really want to success, they must always work hard. A person di sini sebagai singular and they sebagai plural. They kan a person di sini singular, berarti they di sini harus singular juga. Berarti they di sini diganti he atau is. If a person really want to success, he must always or she must always work hard. Like this. Okay, to continue to the skill 46. Use basic adjective and adverb correctly. Adjective and adverb have many different use. Adjective have only one job. They describe nouns or pronouns. For the example is, she is beautiful woman. Beautiful di sini menjelaskan woman. Beautiful sebagai adjektif, woman sebagai noun. Berarti adjektif menjelaskan noun. Another example, she is beautiful. She pronoun and beautiful adjective. Beautiful menjelaskan bahwa she adalah cantik. Dia perempuan adalah cantik. Adverb do their different thing to describe verb, adjective, and or other adverb. For the example is, the mother was pleasant surprised when her doctor came to visit. Pleasant di sini sebagai adjektif and surprise di sini sebagai adjektif. Tidak mungkin adjektif menjelaskan adjektif. Yang ada adjektif cuma menjelaskan noun dan pronoun. Berarti di sini yang benar pleasant di sini diganti pleasantly. Pleasantly sebagai adverb. The mother was pleasantly surprised when her daughter came to visit. Adverb menjelaskan adjective. And the last is skill 47. Use adjective after linking verb. Generally, a verb rather than adjective will come directly after a verb because the verb is described the adverb describes the verb. For the example, she spoke nicely. Adjective adverb menjelaskan verb spoke. Nicely menjelaskan spoke. In this example, the verb spoke is followed by the adverb nicely. This adverb describes the verb spoke. However, you must be very careful if the verb is linking verb. A linking verb is followed by adjective rather than a verb. For the example is she looks nicely. Adjektif menjelaskan subjek kan. Look di sini yang dimaksud linking verb. In this example is the linking verb look is followed by the adjective nice. The adjective describe the subject she. Nice menjelaskan she dan linking verb or looks is followed by the adjective nice. And maybe the last for me, I'm so sorry if there is many mistake. The last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
For the next, skill 48, position adjective and adverb correctly. So, where are their position correctly? Adjective and adverb can put or take their position as their place. But adjective and adverb can appear in correct position in the written expression section. And they have two common errors of this type. That the first, the position of the adjective with the noun they describe, and the second, the position of the adverb with object. So we can take the example of them. That the information important is on the first page. We can take underline important. That important including the adjective. Important should come before the noun information because important describe the information. The next, skill 49, recognize ly adjectives. Actually, when you find a word ends ly in English, it's called adverb. And there are other opinions say that are adjectives. This adjective can cause confusion in the written expression section of the TOEFL test. We can take the example. The manager turned in this weekly report. This example is correct, but it appears to be incorrect. Why? It appears that there is an ly adverb in front of the noun report. However, weakly is an adjective that describes the noun report. Next, skill 50. Use predicate adjective correctly. So, adjectives appear only in the predicate of the sentence. They appear after the linking such as be, and they cannot appear directly in front of the nouns that they describe. For the example, we can change an active sentence to be passive sentence like the snake on the rock was alive. This is an active sentence. So we can change this active sentence to be passive sentence that the alive snakes was lying on the rock. Next, skill 51. Use ed and ing adjectives correctly. Verbal form ending in ed and ing can be used as adjective. For example, the verbal adjective cleaned and cleaning come from the verb to clean. Next, skill 52. Use articles with singular nouns. Noun is either countable plural or uncountable. So if you want to use countable singular nouns, you must have an article. For example, I have money. That's uncountable, no article needed. And now, skill 53. Distinguish a and an. The basic difference between a and n is that a is used in front of consonants and n is used in front of the vowels. For example, a book, an orange. Skill 54. Make article agree with nouns. Common agreement error is to use the singular indefinite article with a plural noun. For example, he saw a new movie. In this example, you should not have a or an because the nouns are plural.
Okay, now skill 55. We talk about distinguish specific and general ideas. Maybe someone knows about it. Okay, with countable singular nouns, it is possible to use either the definite or the indefinite article, but they have different meaning. The definite article is used to refer to one specific noun. Here are some examples. Tom will bring the book tomorrow. The book tomorrow. You are referring to a short book, a specific book that Tom will bring tomorrow. Next example. He will arrive on the first Tuesday in July. The first Tuesday in July. We use the here because there is only one first Tuesday in July. The bottom line article is the. Meaning is specific ideas and uses is used when it is the only one. Use when there are many and you know which one it is. Okay, next, the definite article is used when the nouns could be one of several different nouns. For example again, Tom will bring a book tomorrow. A book tomorrow. Tom will bring anyone a book. Anyone book. Next example is he will arrive on a Tuesday in July. We don't know which one but a Tuesday. The bottom line or key information article is a or an. Meaning is general ideas. Uses is used when there are many and you don't know and you don't care which one it is. Okay, now skill 55. We talk about distinguish specific and general ideas. Maybe someone knows about it. Okay, with countable singular nouns, it is possible to use either the definite or the indefinite article, but they have different meaning. The definite article is used to refer to one specific noun. Here are some examples. Tom will bring the book tomorrow. The book tomorrow. You are referring to a short book, a specific book that Tom will bring tomorrow. Next example. He will arrive on the first Tuesday in July. The first Tuesday in July. We use the here because there is only one first Tuesday in July. The bottom line article is the. Meaning is specific ideas and uses is used when it is the only one. Use when there are many and you know which one it is. Okay, next, the definite article is used when the nouns could be one of several different nouns. For example again, Tom will bring a book tomorrow. A book tomorrow. Tom will bring anyone book. Next example is he will arrive on a Tuesday in July. We don't know which one, but a Tuesday. The bottom line or key information article is a or an. Meaning is general ideas. Uses is used when there are many and you don't know and you don't care which one it is. Okay, the next skill 56. We talk about recognize incorrect preposition. Sometimes an incorrect preposition is given in a sentence in the written expression section of the TOEFL test. Here there are some examples. For the first example is the game was called on because of rain. Called on because of rain. Should say that the game was called off because of rain. The expression called off means cancelled. And that is the meaning that makes sense in this sentence. To call on someone is to visit someone, and this meaning does not make sense in this example. Okay, the next example is I know I could count in you to do a good job. Count in you to do a good job. It is not correct in English to count in someone. The correct expression is to count on someone. Count on someone. Okay, next skill 57. We talk about the recognize when prepositions have been omitted. Sometimes a necessary preposition has been omitted from a sentence in the right expression section of the TOEFL test. For the some example is can you wait me after the game? Wait me after the game. The example is incorrect because it is necessary to say wait for me. Wait for me after the game. Still need the word for to make the sentence true. The next example is I plan attending the meeting. I plan attending the meeting. The second example is same with first example. That is incorrect because it is necessary to say plan. Plan on attending. I plan on attending the meeting. Okay, the next skill 58. distinguish make and do. Make and do. Make and do can be confused in English because their meaning are so similar. Since the difference between make and do is tested on the TOEFL test, you should learn to distinguish them. Make often has the idea of creating or contracting, creating or constructing in the make. The following expressions show some of the possible use of make. For the example is, she likes to make her own clothes. Would you like to make a cake for dessert? And the last, if you make a mistake, you should correct it. Okay, the next is do. Do often has the idea of completing or performing. Completing or performing in the do. The following expressions show some of the possible uses of do. For the example is, this morning she did all the dishes. The second example is, the students are doing the assignment. And the last, the janitors did the work they were assigned. Okay, now is skill 59. We talk about distinguish like, alike, unlike, and dislike. Like, alike, unlike, and dislike are actually confused because they look so similar and they have many different uses. There are several structures with like, alike, unlike, and dislike that you should be familiar with. For the first structures, study the use of alike and like. In the following example, John and Tom are alike. John and Tom worked in a like manner. Why that is? Because in the both these examples, alike and like are adjectives that mean similar. In the first example, alike is a predicate adjective describing John and Tom. Because alike is a predicate adjective, it can only be used after a linking verb such as are. In the second example is, like is the adjective form that is used immediately before the noun manner. The next structures is the preposition like and unlike, which have opposite meaning because they are prepositions. They must be followed by objects. For the example, John is like Tom. John is unlike Tom. In the first example, the preposition like is followed by the object Tom. It means that Tom and John are similar. And in the second example, the preposition unlike is followed by the object Tom. It means that Tom and John are not similar. The preposition like and unlike can also be used at the beginning of a sentence. For the example, like Tom, John is tall. Unlike Tom, John is tall. Why? Because the preposition like is followed by the object Tom. It means that Tom is tall. And also the preposition unlike is followed by the object Tom. It means that Tom is not tall. And the last or final structures, that is the verb like and dislike. For the example is, John and Tom like the cars. John and Tom dislike the cars. The first example, the verb like follow the subjects John and Tom. It means that both men think that the course is enjoyable. In the second example, the verb dislike follow the subject John and Tom. It means that both men think that the course is not enjoyable. Okay, the last skill, skill 60. We talk about the distinguish other, another, and others. Other, another, and others are very easy to confuse. To decide how to use each of them correctly, you must consider three things. First, if it is singular or plural. Second, if it is definite the or indefinite a. And the last is if it is an adjective, it appears with a noun, or if it is a pronoun, it appears by itself. This is a table that will make it easier for us when we use other, another, and others. So we use another only to refer to an indefinite singular idea. Others is used only as plural pronoun, not accompanied by a noun. In all other cases, other is correct. This is the theory about all. Okay, there are some examples. That is, for the first, it is difficult to find other workers who are willing to work such long hours. Second, they have decided to try another hotel this year. And the last, it is essential to complete the first program before working on the others. Thank you.
That is from our group, and we say real sorry if we have mistake in our word. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. That is the explanation from our group, and we say sorry if we have mistake, but we hope what we explain here it can be useful. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. That is the explanation from our group, and we are really sorry if we have mistake. I hope our presentation can be useful. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.